Welcome back to Smart Speak English. You know, we've all been there, haven't we? You're trying to make a really important point, and suddenly those little words like, and, they just creep in. They feel supernatural, right? Almost automatic.
Oh, absolutely. They're everywhere in casual chat.
But our deep dive into communication shows how much these tiny words can actually affect how people perceive you, how polished you sound.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're not just pointing out these common filler words. No, our mission is really to help transform how you speak. We want to arm you with 5 really powerful alternative phrases, things that can genuinely sharpen your delivery, make you sound more, elevated.
Exactly. And we're looking beyond just swapping words. It's about why these alternatives are so much more effective. It's actually fascinating how these seemingly small habits, these tiny linguistic picks, can shape perception so profoundly.
Right.
Our research shows that while, filler words might give you a split second to...
Buys you time.
It does, but it also inadvertently increases the listener's cognitive load. It makes your message just a bit harder to follow.
That makes sense.
Which really brings up a key question. How much more clarity, how much more impact can we actually get just by choosing our words a little more deliberately?
That's the heart of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's take like. We hear it all the time when someone's giving an example.
All the time.
Our deep dive suggests replacing it with something more direct, something that clearly flags example coming up.
Precisely. And when we looked at effective communication patterns, for instance, really stood out. It's a consistently better alternative.
Okay. So how would that sound?
Well, instead of saying something like, I love different cuisines like Italian and Mexican.
Yeah, common phrasing.
Right. You immediately sound more polished, more deliberate. If you say, I love different cuisines, for instance, Italian and Mexican, it just signals precision.
For instance. I like that. It feels more structured. Okay, building on that precision idea, let's talk about actually. Now, I've heard this used really effectively, but sometimes it can sound a bit strong, maybe.
That's a great point. Actually is brilliant, particularly for offering a polite correction.
Okay.
Or maybe adding a contrasting point that's still interesting. Linguistic studies show it adds the subtle layer of authority.
Authority, interesting.
So if someone says something and you have a slightly different take, instead of, I think it's different, you could try, actually, I think it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, the key is tone. You got to use it to clarify, not to sort of confront.
Right. So it's about adding nuance, not just shutting someone down.
Yeah.
Okay. Our third phrase helps build arguments more effectively, you mentioned.
Yes. In addition. This one's perfect for when you want to layer on more details or add supporting information.
Yeah.
It clearly signals to the listener that you're building on your previous point. It makes your thinking seem more logical, easier to follow.
So less rambling, more structure.
Exactly. So rather than the new project is challenging, it needs more resources, which is a bit vague.
Right.
You could say the new project is challenging. In addition, it requires significant new resources. See? It structures your thought process out loud.
Yeah, that immediately sounds much more considered, much clearer.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, to be honest. This one always feels quite significant, almost like you're letting the listener in on something.
It really does. To be honest is powerful for conveying sincerity or introducing a personal viewpoint. Our deep dive into persuasive language really highlighted how effective it is when you genuinely want to express your true feelings.
It was for authenticity.
Precisely. If you're maybe a bit hesitant to share an opinion, instead of just, it's okay, to be honest, it's just okay, it adds that weight, that authenticity.
But there's a catch.
Well, a potential one. Overusing it or always using it right before negative feedback can sometimes come across as a bit defensive, like you're bracing for impact.
Oh.
So it's best used strategically for genuine impact.
Strategic sincerity. Got it. And finally, number 5, for tackling complex ideas. To put it simply.
Yes. This one is such a useful bridge between you and your audience, especially when you're discussing something intricate or, a bit complicated.
Making things easier.
Exactly. Our research shows that using phrases like this really demonstrates clarity of thought. It shows you understand it well enough to simplify it, and it respects your listener's time.
That's a good point, respecting their time.
So instead of stumbling through with, uh, like really hard to understand,
We've all done that.
we have explaining, to put it simply, it's a new way to solve an old problem that helps you distill the complexity, makes the core idea much easier to grasp.
Excellent. Okay, so let's recap quickly. What does this all mean for you, the listener? We've gone through 5 really fantastic phrases today. For instance, actually, in addition, to be honest, and to put it simply. And as our deep dive showed, these aren't just simple word swaps. They're powerful tools to help you sound more confident, definitely more articulate, and just more precise.
Mm-hmm.
The key thing now, really, is practice. Try integrating them into your everyday conversations. See how they feel.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, adopting these phrases isn't just about fixing a minor habit. It's fundamentally about strengthening your communication,
Yeah.
clarifying your own thoughts as you speak, and ultimately making a much stronger, more impactful impression. It really prompts you to think, doesn't it? How can these small shifts in language refine your entire presence? So maybe as you integrate these, you could also consider what other subtle communication habits might be unconsciously shaping your impact, and how could understanding them better transform how you come across?
That's a great thought to leave people with. So we really encourage you, try using these phrases this week, see what happens. And please share your experiences with us. Let us know how they changed your conversations. We'd love to hear about it. And of course, if you found this deep dive into elevating your English useful, please give it a like, share it with someone else who might benefit, and definitely subscribe to Smart Speak English for more insights like these.